states' rights activist. He brings a conservative point of view to black issues. His mission: to provide a forum for honest discussions about social issues without the liberal lapdogs shutting down the discussion. Broadcasting from the American Truth Project studios in beautiful Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. This is Conservative Nation with your host, Jermaine Buxio.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Conservative Nation with me, your gracious host, Jermaine Buxio. How's everybody doing on this beautiful Wednesday evening? Hopefully everybody's doing well. A lot of news going on right now. Let me tell you, a whole bunch of news, and we got a lot to discuss tonight. So make sure you guys do me a favor, hit that like button, make sure you share. Let me go ahead and give some folks a shout out. Shout out to the folks on YouTube. Shout out to, let me go through here. Shout out to Chris Paulin, my brother from another mother. Megan Hutchinson, shout out to you. Shout out to Frank Williams. Shout out to Yvonne Garrison. Shout out to Pizza Sticks. Eat all, save none for later. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to the beautiful Dixie George. I just seen her sneak through here. Let me go to Facebook here and give you guys a shout out. Make sure you guys do me a favor. Hit that like button. Make sure you share. Shout out to Tommy Crockett in the building. Dennis Perkins, shout out to you. Shout out to Joanne Yarlett, shout out to you. Shout out to Judy L. Walker. Yvette Romick, shout out to you. Shout out to Betty Nelson, says, hi, folks. Fresh out of jail. Shout out to everybody and their mama's mama. Shout out to James Van Pattern. You guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. Facebook censoring me like a dog. So is YouTube. Dan Bongino got kicked off of YouTube. So you know it's serious. So I'm going to need your help. I'm going to need you to hit that like button. Make sure you share. All right, that's the only way we can get the word out. The only way. All right? Absolutely. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get rocking, shall we? Let's get the flaming. Absolutely. First one up here. I want to go ahead and speak to you guys about a viral video that was put on TikTok. As you guys know, TikTok is a place where a lot of folks like to go and put out, the struggles they have in life. Apparently TikTok is the new therapist, the online therapist. You go and unload all the BS that's going on in your life, and apparently people are there to help. Well, I want to go ahead and show you guys this video here, all right? And it deals with a single mom who goes on TikTok to complain. And she's complaining about being a mom and having children. And she says that she has every right to complain, and mothers have a right to complain. I want to go ahead and run this. And when it comes back, I want to speak to you guys about it. This video is getting a lot of hits right now. A lot of people are talking about this, and I definitely want to speak about this because, as you guys know, we speak about family on this show. We speak about people who need to be recorrected a lot of the time, right? And let me tell you something. This is no different. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share it. Single mom on TikTok. Mad at the world. Take a look.
No, I'm not okay. Actually, I'm perfectly fucking fine. I'm venting. I'm getting it off of my chest because y'all really expect moms to not be fucking frustrated with screaming ass kids every fucking day and not being able to do nothing else in life because you have to think about your fucking tiny humans first. Y'all really expect us to not be depressed and lost trying to figure out what the fuck we're doing with our fucking selves. Y'all make society makes being a mom 10 times harder because we can't be mad, sad, or fucking flustered for shit. I don't give a fuck. Fuck y'all. I'm tired. I am burnt the fuck out on this shit. I'm burnt. I don't care. I'm burnt out. I'm burnt the fuck out on all of it, on every fucking thing. I'm done.
Mm, mm, mm. Mm, mm, mm. This is the new generation. This is the new generation of what I call ratty bratty single moms. You're over here crying about your children, that you gotta wake up and take care of your children. Nobody told you to spread your legs and be a cum dumpster. I don't understand this. I really don't. I don't understand this. Nobody forced you to be a pump and dumpster. Nobody. Nobody told you to have bastard children. Nobody told you to do this. But yet, ladies and gentlemen, they will have these children out of wedlock because they're following the culture. The culture tells them, hey, you can have as many bastard children as you want, and everything will be A-okay. And you know what happens? These young girls, they follow that culture, and come to find out, right, they come back to reality. They come back to Jermaine's reality, right, which is the real world. That having those children end up becoming a burden. Yes, a burden on that person. And that's the way they see it. They're not able to go do the things that they wanted to do, first of all. Right? She's not able to sleep, to wake up and run around, go chase Tom, Dick, and Harry. She's not able to do all this. She's not able to go to school or even hold down a job because she had children out of wedlock. So while she's complaining like this, these children are in harm's danger, and I want you folks to understand that. Young, bratty, single moms like her cause children to have neglect. I want folks to understand that. That's why promoting single motherhood ain't good. You see how out of control she is? She's mad. She's upset. She's burnt out. And guess what? Those children are about to be burnt out of love, affection, quality time with their parent. I want folks to understand this. I speak harsh like this because I want folks to wake up. If I spoke nice, ain't nobody gonna care about it. But she was not doing the right thing, and she's suffering for it. And in the real world where there's no gosh darn government to supply a home and food for the BS lifestyle that she's living in, after that, probably one child, she would have stopped. Let me go ahead and run it again. We got some more folks in here. Ratty, bratty, single mama crying because she's tired of taking care of her children. This is the new style. It's crazy to me. Take a look.
No, I'm not okay. Actually, I'm perfectly fucking fine. I'm venting. I'm getting it off of my chest because y'all really expect moms to not be fucking frustrated with screaming ass kids every fucking day and not being able to do nothing else in life because you have to think about your fucking tiny humans first. Y'all really expect us to not be depressed and lost trying to figure out what the fuck we're doing with our fucking selves. Society makes being a mom 10 times harder because we can't be mad, sad, or fucking flustered for shit.
Outrageous.
I don't give a fuck. Fuck y'all. I'm tired. I am burnt the fuck out on this shit. I'm burnt. I don't care. I'm burnt out. I'm burnt the fuck out on all of it, on every fucking thing. I'm done.
Yup, and being burnt the F out mean that your children suffer. Being burnt the F out means your children suffer. She's telling a lie. In this country, we've made it very easy for ratty, bratty single moms to get through life. We've made it very easy. Let me tell you, we've made it very, very easy. From financial support to getting them to school, right? This new traditional, non-traditional college that are popping up is all for single moms, right? They promoted the single moms. Hey, you know what? You screwed up and you had 2 or 3 bastard children. Don't you worry. We have a schedule system to help you out. So they're going after the single moms. A lot of these colleges are. And they know that most of them will not complete their coursework. So it's very easy for them to extract change from the single moms. It's going to take you longer to get through school. More likely down the road, you probably get pregnant again. Who knows? They know this. That's why they market these non-traditional colleges to these single moms. I don't make this stuff up. We've made it very easy in this country for single moms to flourish, for them to get help. So while she's sitting here mad and upset, she's not telling the truth here. And one of the biggest takeaways I want folks to understand is that, yes, everybody gets upset and flustered by this, right? By taking care of children every once in a while. You get flustered. I understand that. But living this new age single mama lifestyle where you're not caring about your children and about family is what got you there. And I want folks to truly understand that. Children are supposed to be taken care of by 2 people, mama and daddy. And in this country, we have shooed away the daddy. And I keep telling men, if you out here having babies out of wedlock, these babies aren't yours. I don't care how much blood you come and tell me, Jermaine, I got 99.9% blood in that child. I'm going to tell you, guess what? That child is daddy government Satan and your baby mama. All you are is a surrogate. And gentlemen need to start understanding that. The only thing that saves you to be in your children's lives is for you to get your ass married and committed. You make a bastard, baby, guess what? It's Satan's in your baby mamas. And I'm not going to play around with anybody. It's Satan in your baby mama. No covenant under God if you don't do it, gentlemen. That's why men are suffering. Men are suffering because you're making Satan's babies. And when you go to court, guess what? It's Satan's court. Yeah, gentlemen, you go to court. It's Satan's court. And then you're fighting Satan with your baby mama. And please believe your baby mama loves Satan. Boy, loves Satan. Satan say, hey, I got food, I got shelter, I got a lawyer for you, right? I got a county attorney for you. Everything for you, girl. Why are you going to go to him? Right? He just a man who you got to depend on his work ethic. I can supply everything. That's Satan. Crazy. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. Shout out to Frank Williams, says get married or you're living in sin. Absolutely. You're out here having babies out of wedlock, gentlemen. I'm letting you know it's the wrong deal, and you shall suffer. The women don't care. I'm letting you, they don't care. Either way, they're getting taken care of. The women know this. So stop it. She wants to have a baby, you tell her, hey, we're going to get married, no baby. Because that's the only thing that will guarantee you, if anything goes left with these women, and let me tell you something, more than likely it will, especially in this modern day and age. 90% of women file for divorce. 90% of women separate from the men. Gentlemen, you better wake up. You better wake up. That's it. Let's go and move forward. Next one up. I want to go ahead here, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I want to speak about, oh my goodness. I want to speak about a bus driver that was caught on video here. This is just absolutely insane. This deals with, the black community, and it really deals with not being raised correctly. And I always keep speaking about this because a lot of this behavior that I show, it really starts at home. You know, it starts with the ratty bratty single mama who says, I don't need no man, right? Her and daddy Satan is raising the children. And when they get to a certain age, because, daddy wasn't there and, government Satan is there, these children don't act well. What you guys are going to see is a CTA bus driver being jumped by school kids. And let me tell you something. It's all because he called them out for not paying the fare. I want you guys to understand this is the main reason why you'll see transit cops always following a lot of these metro buses all across this nation. It's because of stuff like this. Children who aren't raised well, teenagers who aren't raised well, beating down people who are servicing the community. It's absolutely abhorrent. I want you guys to take a look at this. Make sure you share. Here we go. Let me go back. I'm telling you. I am telling you, the world is crazy right now. It certainly is crazy. Imagine, ladies and gentlemen, being a city bus driver. You couldn't pay me to be a city bus driver. Not with all these rascals running around and doing stuff like this. No way could you do it. I couldn't do it at all. Not at all. You're a city bus driver trying to make a living. And then all you're doing is trying to, ask these people to be cordial. And look at the guy in the beginning. Look at him. He just jumped on him like that. Look at him. Flying kick. This is how these monkeys are. Out of control. And let me tell you something. It's always Blackie who's doing this. Young black males who are doing this nonsense. And it's because they're not raised well. Come from the ratty-bratty single mama era. Look at them. Pants down. These children are out of control. Why would you want to be a city bus driver if you have to deal with this nonsense? You have to live in fear that if you just merely, ask somebody that, hey, you I don't know if you forgot to pay your fare, but you didn't pay. All of a sudden, that is, warranted for an ass whooping. That's crazy to me. It really is. But like I said, it all goes back to what I've been saying here about family. If you're not raised well, you're not raised correctly, things of this nature are going to happen. I want people to understand that. It's going to happen. So, there's nothing else I can say about this. Shout out to Teresa. Teresa Serna says, no respect anymore, no integrity, no manners. Absolutely. None. They're not going to respect anybody anymore. And the crazy thing, when these folks are caught, a lot of these cities have a no cash bail system. They'll let you out of jail if the crime is under, what is it, $950 or $1,000. Maybe they'll give these people a simple battery charge. I don't know. This is just out of control right now. Shout out to Yvonne Garrison, says, when animals attack. Let me tell you something. They're definitely attacking right now. They definitely are. So that's what it is. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. I'm thinking that these CTA workers better, these bus drivers, I think they need to have like some sort of security guard there, or maybe they need a carry. Because that's crazy to live in a world like that where you're just trying to merely, make a living. And there's somebody there who doesn't give a rip about you. They're ready to kill you. It's not right. Let's go ahead and move forward. Next one up, I want to go ahead and speak about a Portland business owner. This business owner is fed up with the rising crime. Let me tell you something, like everybody else. What he's saying is that the politicians ain't doing nothing. This is what he's saying. And that's what it is across this country. A lot of these politicians right now, they are beholden to the social media mob. They're beholden to the Social Warrior Justice League. All right? They don't want to go ahead and, make certain moves because they don't want to be attacked by those folks. They are purely being bullied, a lot of them, and a lot of them are playing what we call ideology, right? They're playing this ideology politics. they're ideologues. They go with their base. They go with their, their ideas that they have. And one of their ideas that they have is that police officers are part of the problem that we have here in America. That's why you don't see, liberals funding police. You don't see them very active in trying to support law enforcement. They have the notion that law enforcement is part of the problem. And this is what happens when you start going to these larger cities and these larger suburbs. As soon as they start throwing diversity, they'll use some sort of black person to push these crazy laws so that they can mess up that area. It's crazy to me that people aren't catching up to this. Let me go ahead and run this. When it come back, I want to speak about it. Portland business owner fed up with the rising crime says politicians ain't doing nothing. Just like that. Take a look. Here we go.
Community leaders to step in to help combat rising crime. The National Desk, Megan Allison, speaking with one business owner who says this issue hits pretty close to home.
Right here's where they pulled out the concrete. They've been breaking apart.
Lonnie Thompson tells us his son was at the car restoration shop when someone broke in early Friday morning.
I got a phone call that somebody was breaking in the shop. I hopped in my truck. I headed down a couple of minutes before I got here. I got a call that he shot someone.
He says his son, protecting their business, shot the intruder. Today, his frustration with Portland and state leadership is off the charts.
Politicians ain't doing nothing. You got Wheeler, you got Kate Brown, you got Joe Hardesty. They're all hiding in a corner. They physically do not want to address this problem.
Thompson is not alone. In the Portland Business Alliance survey released Monday, 88% of voters polled say the quality of life in Portland is getting worse. 66% of voters report mistrust of local officials. And 81% of voters polled say the city council is ineffective when it comes to providing public services.
Bow. And I'm going to stop it right there. Let's take a look at how bad liberals are. And Portland's filled with liberals, right? You already know it. Liberal through and through, 88% of the voters. And these are the voters that voted these suckers in. Say quality of life is getting worse. 66% of the voters say they mistrust local officials. Of course, Democrats can't be trusted. They don't have any morals. Most of them don't believe in God. I keep speaking about this. Next one up. 81% of voters say the city council is ineffective when it comes to providing public service. Of course, because liberals aren't about helping anybody. Liberals are about pushing what we call false compassion. They ain't about pushing what we call reality and truth. When you're an ideologue, you live in fantasy world, right? You come up with ideas that aren't tested, right? It sounds nice in your head, but in practice, it doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. And you're seeing the fruits of the Democrat ideology. You're seeing it right now. Everywhere you go and you have a liberal city, Democratic politician, you have crime through the roof, murder through the roof, low income housing everywhere. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, you can't make this stuff up. And the thing is, the people who vote for the Democrat Party, they want to change, but they're easily finessed. And it's because, you know why, right? they think through emotion. And this is something that I wish, the national guys would start speaking about this. Because once you start speaking of it, it unravels the things that the liberals do. Liberals push what we call false compassion. I speak about this all the time on this show. Right? They say things that they don't believe. I want folks to understand. Right? When they're sitting here saying, we believe women, right? We must believe women when they say they've been raped or sexually assaulted, right? That's the liberals pushing false compassion and a lie. And then when it happens to affect them, right? Like that stupid woman, Tara Reid. She said she was sexually assaulted by Joe Biden. Remember, they said that women must be believed. And what happened when Tara Reid said that? They didn't believe her. They called her a liar. As a matter of fact, they tarnished her. Do you understand? So they say things that they don't believe. And the American citizen, the regular individual, I want folks to understand the regular individual has a conscience, right? So they in a sense won't believe that somebody would say these things at that high level and not really mean it. Do you understand? Liberals are very naive. You go around and say, hey, I want to save the world one water bottle at a time. Can you go ahead and sign here? There's a liberal out there that will sign some sort of, petition or legislation for it when it doesn't make any sense at all. So the big takeaway here is that the people who are crying about this, crying about the crime, the mistrust of the officials, right? And them not providing adequate public services. These are the folks who voted these people in because they were finessed by false compassion. One thing about conservatives and Republicans is that they use the left side of their brain most of the time. The left side of the brain deals with logic. So when somebody comes up to you and tries to push false compassion, it doesn't work on your end because you don't process the information that way. Do you understand? So they can't come up to you and swindle you with an emotional argument because it doesn't make sense to you. You need the logic before you can be swindled through emotion. That's how most conservatives are. Logic needs to be there before they're swindled by the emotion. For liberals, people who think through their right brain, right? That's the artistic side. That's the emotional side. People who think through this, they interpret information differently. When you present something to them, they emotionalize it first, right? That's how women think. How does it make me feel? Right? And based upon how it makes you feel is how you interpret that information to be good or bad. If you believe it or not. And our generation that is growing up right now, right? The young folks who are voting these cockamamie people in. They think through the right side of their brain because our population has been turned upside down from a nuclear traditional family to a single mama family. And as you know, children adopt the mental characteristics of the people they're around, their programmer. And more than likely, their programmer is their mama. And you can't get around that. I want folks to understand that. You can't get around that. So I go through this time after time to allow folks to understand the thought process that is there and the reasons why these people do this. They don't think like me and you. They're swindled through emotion. Right? Look at your mama. Your mama more than likely, if she hasn't been brought over to God, G-O-D, and the Republican Party, more than likely she's a liberal. Your sister, some woman you know. I want you to think about that. Think about the way she thinks, because that's the way most young folks think nowadays. They think, act, and feel like a woman. That's why everything's so soft. That's why everybody's so offended. Because naturally, women are offended by a lot of stuff. And I don't make this stuff up. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. It's very important that people start using common sense. It's very important to tell the truth. Because we are having these type of conversations so folks truly understand what's going on. When you see false compassion, you should be able to point it out. Liberals will emotionalize every issue because they know most of the population thinks that way. That's why conservative Republicans, they can't understand why. You can't understand why. It's because you don't interpret the information that way. I want you to understand that. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. I want to go ahead here and give a shout out to a very, very special guy here. Let me pull this up here. I want to go ahead and, why is this acting funny, y'all? Okay, here it goes. I want to go ahead here and give a shout out to my guy, Stephen Marlowe. Shout out to my guy, Stephen Marlowe. Big man on campus. Says, job well done. Shout out to you. Let me go ahead and give you the customaries, brother. Stephen Marlowe. Let me tell you. Beautiful white man. Stephen Marlowe, beautiful white man. He got a beautiful wife. Let me tell you, built like an ox. This white man built like an ox. Let me tell you. I'm telling you, when I get to this, I want to be like him. I want to be like Mr. Marlowe. Hit that like button. Make sure you share. All right. Absolutely. Next one up. Next one up here, ladies and gentlemen. I want to go ahead and speak to you guys about a viral TikTok video taken on the campus of University of Kentucky. This video is going around like wildfire. All right, I got a lot of people who sent me this here. So I don't know who to give a shout out to. But I want you guys to see this, all right? The University of Kentucky students, right? It's a group of girls. They mock babies that have been aborted. There was a guy there, and he had a sign. As you guys know, if you've been on campus, on a lot of these actually college campuses, they'll have people protesting abortion, trying to give out information to, get people to think a different way. And during this protest, there were some young women there, and they started mocking the pictures of the aborted fetuses. I want you guys to take a look at this. When I come back, I want to speak about this, because this is the type of things that I've been talking about in our nation when it comes down to abortion. Most women in our country are for abortion, and in my eyes, it needs to change. I know there's some folks out there who would debate me from here to Pakistan, but they don't have any figures to back up what they're saying. But what I'm letting you know is that abortion wouldn't be legal across the land if most women didn't find it abhorrent. All right. This is just common sense here. Let me go ahead and run it. When it come back, I want to speak about it. Make sure you share.
Lord, how are you, man? How are you? No opinion. Sorry. First of all, the man. Yeah, we do. Actually, I promise I'd kill my baby if I got pregnant. I literally would. Are you kidding me? No uterus, no opinion.
No uterus, no opinion. I want you gentlemen to understand that this is the main reason why men got to start being men. You know, you get to a point, gentlemen, where, the kitty ain't enough. I want the gentleman to understand. You get to a point where the kitty ain't enough. Right? You want a woman with some common sense and some morals. Right? When you're young, a young guy like this, kitty is enough for young men. The older you get, the kitty ain't enough. Right? The coochie ain't enough. And I want the gentleman to start using common sense here. These women here, if you have a child out of wedlock with them, they'll either kill your child or run to Daddy Satan and the government. I mean, this is what's going on here. Let me play it again. And then what they're telling the man, he has no uterus, no opinion. Why would you want to be with a woman like this? Let me go ahead and show you guys again.
Lord, how are you, man? How are you?
Ridiculous.
No uterus, no opinion. Sorry. First of all, the man. Yeah, we do. Actually, I promise I'd kill my baby if I got pregnant. I literally would. Are you kidding me? No uterus, no opinion.
You see that? No uterus, no opinion. And the girls are dancing up and down like this. This is what happens when men are weak in this country. When men are weak, this is what happens. How can you be with a woman? She gets pregnant, and then they tell you that you have no opinion, you have no say so on what happens. But yet, whatever happens, in a sense, a lot of the time, you're going to be responsible for. I want the gentleman to understand, this is why the men's rights movement is taking off like wildfire. It's because men are starting to wake up to the fact that they're getting the shaft no matter wherever you look. How can you sit here and say that it takes two to tango, right? This is our baby, right? It's only our baby when it's convenient. When the bill comes, it's our baby. But when you want to kill the child, it's your baby. Gentlemen, you have to wake up. When men are weak in this country, this is what happens. Most men have been lulled to sleep because they've been following the culture. They've been following these type of women. They want the coochie so much they can't stand up to mama, right? They can't stand up to the women in their life. And I want the women to understand the reason why I speak like this, right, about men not being able to stand up to coochie is because it's a real thing. Go ahead and ask the gentleman out here, right? Coochie got some certain power over some men out there, a lot of men out there. Coochie, right? The has a lot of power over the men out there. To the point where they won't be honest with the women in their life, right? We call them beta males. There are men out there who will lie to you day and night, all because they want to dip in your cookie jar. All because they want to bend you over. I want the women to understand that's how weak they are. They will lie up and down. Whatever you say, they will follow. I want the women to understand this. They're that weak. That's why I speak about this type of stuff. Because the men understand that. And we have a culture of men who are like this, who are that weak. They're all about the coochie. That's why I said in the other one, coochie ain't enough. When you get to a certain maturity, coochie ain't enough. The gentlemen know what I'm talking about, right? The pussy ain't enough. I want folks to understand this. So when you have the gentlemen who are out there who have that mindset, they're not going to do the right thing. They're going to only follow the women and what they say because they want sex with them. It's that simple. I want the ladies to understand it's that simple. It's crazy. It's that simple. So when the woman says, hey, this is my child, I'm going to kill my child, you have the beta guys there who only care about getting in the cookie jar. Right? Only appeasing mama. So when she says that they're not going to stand up, why stand up and risk you not being able to get some coochie? This is the way they think. I want folks to understand this. It is crazy, ladies. I'm telling you. Go ahead and ask the gentleman. They'll tell you this. There's guys who actually think like this. So when you have these beta males that are around you, they're not going to do the right thing. They're weak men. When you have men who are alphas, men who where the coochie ain't enough, right? Men who are principled, men who understand legacy. They're not going to allow you to go run and try to kill their children. Do you understand? They're just not. They will fight you to the ends of the earth because they know that that child that you have is their legacy. I want people to understand that. So you have the beta males out there who are going to allow it because they act and feel and think like a woman a lot of times. And they want the coochie, ladies. Yeah, why would you, and women out there, why would you want to be with a man like that? Why? It reminds me of guys in the friend zone. Instead of them to tell the women that they want to date them, they pretend to be their friend in hopes that one day she'll break down and give up the coochie. That's how weak they are. Instead of them to move on and find a woman who want to be with you, they want to pretend. Doesn't make sense to me. But that's the world we are living in. I want people to understand that is the world we are living in. That's why I speak about weak-ass men. They're all over. And that's the main reason why we are having this problem with the abortion. And also, most women, once more again, I'm going to say to piss folks off, most women in this country are for abortion. Some way, somehow. And until we change that mindset, it's going to continue to happen. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share, all right? I know I pissed off somebody out there. I know it. Shout out to Uncle Thomas Soros says coochie will ruin you if that is all you're looking for. Absolutely. It'll put you in the dog house. I don't make this stuff up. I don't. That's why I want the gentlemen to start waking up. Let's go ahead and move forward. That's why real men. Shout out to Teresa. Teresa Nicole says, Jermaine, speaking the truth, men, please defend your unborn child. They have to. The alpha men will, because they believe that the children are their legacy. It carries their last name. Most women don't think of legacy. That's why they're able to kill their child willy-nilly. It's quite simple, ladies, right? Because most of the time, your last name, it comes from your father, right? Some of the feminists don't understand that. Your last name comes from your father, your great-grandfather. And women, when they're giving their children their last, think about it like that. It's legacy. I want folks to understand. Legacy. It's all about legacy. It's all about legacy. So the alpha men will have a problem because they want their children to have their last name, to carry on their last name. I want people to understand that. For women, it's not like that at all. Women don't think about the children carrying on their last name, making their last name proud. Women don't think like this. So we need men to step up, do the right thing. Next one up, make sure you guys share. I want to go ahead and also give a shout out to somebody who donated here. I want to give a shout out to Sharon Glover. Says youth desensitized towards death. Very sad. Absolutely, it is very sad. It is very, very sad. Very sad. Next one up. I want to speak about Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg. She has been suspended from The View after Holocaust comments. Let me go ahead and run it. When it comes back, I want to speak about it. Here we go.
Breaking news overnight. The View co-host Whoopi Goldberg suspended for 2 weeks for her comments about the Holocaust. Ariel Reshev has the story. Good morning, Ariel.
Good morning to you, George. Though Goldberg has apologized, her comments sparked a firestorm, some seeing this as a troubling sign of fading understanding about the horrors of the Holocaust.
This morning, ABC News suspending Whoopi Goldberg for 2 weeks in response to her inflammatory remarks about the Holocaust. ABC News President Kim Godwin saying in a statement, effective immediately, I am suspending Whoopi Goldberg for 2 weeks for her wrong and hurtful comments. While Whoopi has apologized, I've asked her to take time to reflect and learn about the impact of her comments. The entire ABC News organization stands in solidarity with our Jewish colleagues, friends, family, and communities.
If you're going to do this, then let's be truthful about it, because the Holocaust isn't about race.
On Monday's show, the host of ABC's The View inaccurately claimed the Holocaust was not related to race.
It's not about race. It's not about race.
What is it about?
Because it's about man's inhumanity to man. That's what it's about.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Goldberg appearing to double down on the Colbert Show that night.
The American experience tends to be based on skin.
Yes. And so that is what race means to me. Mm-hmm. When you talk about being a racist, I was saying you can't call this racism. This was evil. Mm-hmm. This wasn't based on the skin. You couldn't tell who was Jewish. Mm-hmm. They had to delve deeply to figure it out.
Then tweeting an apology, saying in part, the Jewish people around the world have always had my support, and that will never waver. I'm sorry for the hurt I have caused. And the next day, opening The View with this.
I said that the Holocaust wasn't about race, and it was instead about man's inhumanity to man. But it is indeed about race, because Hitler and the Nazis considered Jews to be an inferior race. Now, words matter, and mine are no exception. I regret my comments, as I said, and I stand corrected. I also stand with the Jewish people, as they know, and y'all know, because I've always done that.
By the end of the Holocaust, just 77 years ago, 6 million Jews had been murdered.
That might not fit exactly or feel different than the way we think about race in 21st century America, where primarily it's about people of color. But throughout the Jewish people's history, they have been marginalized, they have been persecuted, they have been slaughtered, in large part because many people felt they were not just a different religion, but indeed a different race.
The head of the Anti-Defamation League warning anti-Semitism is still a real and present danger.
We need people in good faith on the left and the right to call this out forcefully, fully, without hesitation.
And studies show an alarming decline in knowledge about the Holocaust at a time when anti-Semitism has surged to unprecedented levels. The FBI saying Jews are the most targeted for religious-based hate crimes in this country. And George, as you heard there, Goldberg saying she regrets her comments and any hurt they may have caused.
Bow. So that's Whoopi. Whoopi out of control. Whoopi out of control. Let me tell you. Look like a gosh darn beat up rag on top of her head. Let me tell you. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, look like a black Medusa. Ugly woman. I believe she used to be married to Ted. What is it? Ted Danson? I think so. She used to be married to that white man. Whoopi Goldberg, she apologized. She's suspended now. There are reports right now that she is livid over it. They're saying that she may entirely quit The View altogether over this controversy. This is what they're saying. Now, let me tell you something that is going down in Liberalville right now. People are shaking in their boots because Whoopi being suspended like this means that now all of them could be targets. I want people to understand something here. Whoopi is first a woman. She's a black woman. And she's a black liberal. Okay? She's like liberal royalty. I want folks to understand she's like liberal royalty. And for her to be taken down like this because of what she said means that everybody can get it now. Do you understand? It is the mob eating itself. I want people to understand this. The demons are consuming themselves. And you want to know how cancel culture stops? Is when the demons are consuming themselves and they realize it and they put an end to the nonsense. I want people to understand this. They put an end to the nonsense. Now, I want to go ahead and show you guys this quick clip coming from Cup of Joe. It has Mika Brzezinski. okay? And Mika speaks about Whoopi Goldberg's temporary suspension from The View. She is saying, ladies and gentlemen, get this. Cancel culture is out of hand. This is what she's saying. It is out of hand. I want to go ahead and run this. When I come back, I want to speak about this. All right? I want to. Make sure you share. Here we go.
This is something that is just going to start getting ridiculous. I mean, if Whoopi Goldberg is canceled, that would be the end of this all. This cancel culture is getting so out of hand.
You heard that? Let me play it again. Ladies and gentlemen, didn't they look scared? They looked really scared, didn't they? I kid you not, they look so scared because they know that they could be targets next. I want people to understand. They are scared and shaking in their boots. Let me play it again. Liberals are scared right now.
This is something that is just going to start getting ridiculous. I mean, if Whoopi Goldberg is canceled, that would be the end of this all. This cancel culture is getting so out of hand.
It's getting so out of hand. It's so out of hand. I want folks to understand that she is scared. She is scared. When cancel culture was just affecting conservatives, right? When conservative entertainers, conservative personalities, and influencers were getting canceled, Mika didn't care. As a matter of fact, Mika and them, you know what they're doing? They were applauding it, right? Whoopi Goldberg, the rest of them, they were all applauding it. Now this cancel culture is at their doorstep. Literally, it's at their doorstep. Anything they say could be scrutinized. As a matter of fact, anything they have written that somebody can find that could be offensive, they could be a target. They could go back 5, 10, 15, even 20 years. And get the right people mad. Bingo, bango, you're out of there. So now you see this, ladies and gentlemen. Cancel culture is eating themselves. And let me tell you something, I absolutely love it. The lefties, shout out to Catherine Barker, the lefties started cancel culture. And now cancel culture is eating the lefties. This is what happens. And we try to warn them. We try to. And I think it's getting to the point where these people can't even get a hold of it now. They cannot get a hold of it. You have too many people who are following the virtue signal and the BS from the left. That's why this is happening. So I love it. I mean, allow them to be scared. They're the ones who created the culture. They're the ones who did it to themselves, period. They have done it to themselves. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to my guy, Stephen Gardner. Stephen Gardner donated on PayPal. Absolutely. Shout out to Stephen. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you do share. Next one up. I want to speak about former, and let me go ahead and bring this in here. Former coach Brian Flores. Brian Flores, black coach in the NFL. I believe his last coaching job had to do with offensive line. He is suing, ladies and gentlemen, the NFL, 3 teams, as a former Miami Dolphins coach alleges racism in hiring practice. Brian Flores, a black man, says that the hiring practices in the NFL are racist. This is what he's saying. I want folks to understand that this is what he's saying. He was up for a job, and he didn't get the job. Now, Brian Flores is saying that he received a text from Bill Belichick regarding the position that he hadn't even, been interviewed for, but he was going to interview for. And what he is saying is that Bill Belichick told him that he was their guy. Now, there was 2 Brians who were going for this job here. Brian Flores and I forgot what the other Brian name is. But what they're saying is that it was the other Brian who really got the job. And he didn't. And what he's saying is that Bill Belichick spilled the beans before he even got there. And this other Brian apparently is a white man. I want to go ahead and run this when I come back. I want to speak about this. I want to speak about this because there's so many idiots out there right now who are claiming that the NFL is racist. The NFL doesn't give blacks, apparently a chance. And to me, it doesn't make any sense. Most of the NFL is black. All you see is darkies on the field. Right? You look at this country. The NFL is not a representation of this country, I can tell you that. Same with the NBA. All you see is darkies on the court. So how can somebody say that these organizations somehow are racist when most of the personnel, down to the janitor, is bliggity black? Bliggity black. Don't make sense. I want to go ahead and run this when I come back. I want to speak about it. Here we go.
I just want to say thank you.
Of course.
I just want to say thank you. So last week, I interviewed for the Giants position. I was set to interview on Thursday, the Monday prior. Before I interviewed, I received a text message from Bill Belichick saying congratulations on the Giants, essentially congratulations on the Giants job. There was a little bit of back and forth.
We have the text messages there on the screen.
Yeah, there was some back and forth and
some confusion because you haven't sat down with the Giants yet.
I have not sat down with the Giants. There was some back and forth, and I asked him, "Is this you talking to the right Brian?" And as you've seen through the text messages, he was actually thought he was texting Brian Daboll,
who they ended up hiring.
Yes, sir.
So at that point, how did that make you feel, knowing that you were walking into an interview where a decision might have already been made?
It was a range of emotions, humiliation, disbelief, anger. I've worked so hard to get to where I am in football, to become a head coach. Put 18 years in this league, and it was to go on what was going to be what felt like, or what was a sham interview. I was hurt. And,
but you went knowing that you probably weren't going to get it. Why did you continue to go?
I think there's still hope. And maybe it's call it the audacity of hope. I have a belief that there's good in people. I just do.
We knew he wasn't getting that job. On the day before that Giants interview, we reached out to you, CBS, to all of you to start talking about doing this interview today because we knew he wasn't getting the job. We knew it was a setup. We knew they were just trying to comply with the Rooney Rule. We started drafting the complaint, and here we are.
The Giants say they're pleased and confident in the hiring process. I get the sense from the lawsuit and from you right now that you had a feeling like, here we go again. This wasn't the first time you felt discriminated against in the league. Is that true?
Yeah. The Rooney Rule is intended to, give minorities an opportunity to sit down in front of ownership. But I think what it's turned into is an instance where guys are just checking the box. And that's been the case. I've been on some interviews in the past that where I've had that feeling. There's always no way to know for sure, but and I know I'm not alone there.
To have the Rooney Rule. Isn't that a problem? What were we going to say?
It's absolutely. I'm sorry. It's absolutely a problem. And one of the things that we're doing to help effectuate this change is, the Rooney Rule's tied to the assumption that presidents, owners are going to do the right thing, hire the best, most qualified candidate.
Yeah.
What we want to do is tie, certain things to performance and action through this.
But Brian, the reason the timing is really important here because you're actually up for 2 additional NFL jobs right now. So
let me go ahead and stop. Negro, ain't nobody gonna hire you now. Nobody gonna hire you now. You're up for 2 more additional coaching jobs. Let me tell you something, Negro. You're over here running this, complaining, and doing this. You're not going to get hired from the other 2 jobs. I want black folks to understand this is what happens when people want to push diversity and affirmative action. A lot of the times, I want black folks to understand something. It ain't about your color. It's about what you can do. I want black folks to understand that. The fact of the matter is there's a Rooney Rule that if they're looking for a head coaching job, they must interview a minority. I want you black folks to take that in when it comes down to college and all sorts of other jobs. A lot of the time you're just being picked because you're black. Because you're filling a quota, not because you're the best or you could do the job, the fastest. This is what happens when affirmative action is in place. It dumbs you down and it also puts you at a disadvantage. Because had there been no Rooney Rule, if they wanted to hire you for the job, you would know. You wouldn't have to think about, hey, are they just hiring me, interviewing me because I'm black? That wouldn't come across your mind. They would pick you up because of your skill. You would know right away. That's why affirmative action ain't a good deal. And then let's go ahead and be honest with the management. When it comes to managing teams, running organizations, most black folks ain't built for it. Get mad at me all you want. They're not, because most of them have been raised by their mama. They haven't seen how a business runs. I want folks to understand this. When it comes to Caucasians in this community, a lot of them have family businesses. The children can see daddy going to work. Children working with daddy at the daddy's business. Seeing how he manages the business. Seeing that at the end of the day, him paying off everybody else. having that type of discipline. A lot of Caucasians have seen this. In the black community, a lot of black folks don't have businesses. In the last 5 years, black folks have been talking about businesses, but majority of them don't. So they haven't seen this type of structure. And when it comes down to managing, once more again, they don't do a good job managing. When you look at the best quarterbacks in the NFL, with all the blacks tap dancing, doing the dirty bird, gyrating and running up and down the field, the best QBs are white. They're whiter than snow, right? You have to name Joe Namath, Joe Montana, right? Ladies and gentlemen, right? John Elway, Cannon, right? Tom Brady. All the best quarterbacks are wicked or white. I want folks to understand they're wicked or white. And you know why? Because the white man know how to manage. Get mad at me all you want. Get mad at me all you want. But the white man know how to manage. He know how to manage Negroes on the field. What somebody say, Jermaine, you racist for that one. He know how to manage Negroes on the field. In their pocketbook. Shoot. Get mad at me all you want. But white men know how to manage. Right? I'm not saying the black men can't manage. I'm not saying that. But majority by and large do. So that's all I'm saying. And when you take a look at how these things end up, ladies and gentlemen, you start seeing the pattern, right? You know, when black folks start managing, you know, even the black QBs, they start messing up. They start doing too much, start being flashy, right? Black folks like the flash. Let me tell you, white folks, when it comes down to quarterbacking, head coaching, they're about fundamentals. All the white QBs that I spoke about, they weren't flashy. They were nerdish. Let me tell you. But the white men practiced and were disciplined in their fundamentals. And that's the key difference there. And the key difference comes down to discipline. So I'm telling Negroes this, you know, it really comes down to it. If you're good for the job, you will get the job. Sitting here and complaining, all this complaining stuff, it's not going to end up well for you. And now you're going to get blackballed. You are. I want to give you a job. You're over here trying to sue a team because of this. Hell no. Negro, you're gone. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. All right? Make sure you share. Don't get mad at me. I mean, think about it. All the white QBs, all the best QBs are white. There's a reason why. There's been black quarterbacks from here to Pakistan, right? Warren Moon, right? Some people bring up Mike Vick. Mike Vick wasn't even that good, but they bring him up. All I'm saying is that when it comes down to it, The white quarterbacks are better, and it comes down to because they are disciplined in their fundamentals. I mean, just what it comes down to. Can't make it up. Let's go ahead and move forward. Next one up, I want to go ahead here, ladies and gentlemen. I want to speak about the president of CNN, Jeff Zucker. Let me tell you something. Jeff Zucker, he resigned. Let me go ahead and transition here. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. CNN president Jeff Zucker resigns over romantic relationship with Allison Gollust. Apparently, Allison Gollust is a CNN executive. All right. It says CNN top boss Jeff Zucker resigned from the network on Wednesday after he disclosed a romantic relationship with a senior executive at the company. My goodness gracious. And this all came about from Chris Cuomo. Chris Cuomo apparently during an investigation into Chris Cuomo's tenure at CNN, they found out that Jeff Zucker, this man right here, he was in a relationship with a colleague. And one of the big things about this is that apparently Chris Cuomo was mad that he got fired, and he said, how can he be fired by Jeff Zucker and this woman here, Allison Gollust, if they are having a relationship that is inappropriate? So Chris Cuomo really brought this out. There had been rumors for years that they were messing with each other, and apparently from a CNN insider, what they're saying is that they had broke up. Basically, Jeff Zucker and Allison both were married to other people, and their relationship broke up their marriage. So it's a big deal right now going on at CNN. And CNN had the balls to actually speak about it. I want to go ahead and run it when it come back. I want to finish this. Make sure you guys share. President of CNN, Jeff Zucker, he resigned. He's gone. Here we go.
We have news now to report involving our network. CNN President Jeff Zucker has just resigned after disclosing a consensual relationship with a colleague. Jeff has led CNN for the last 9 years. Joining me now is CNN chief media correspondent, host of Reliable Sources, Brian Stelter. Brian, what more do you have?
As you said, Kate, Zucker's been a larger-than-life figure at this news organization for nearly a decade, a pioneering figure. And now his resignation is stunning this newsroom and the news industry. Now, let me read you his memo in full and then put it into context for the viewers. He wrote to staffers a few minutes ago, quote, as part of the investigation into Chris Cuomo's tenure at CNN, Cuomo, of course, fired last month, Zucker says, I was asked about a consensual relationship with my closest colleague, someone I have worked with for more than 20 years. I acknowledged the relationship evolved in recent years. I was required to disclose it when it began, but I didn't. I was wrong. As a result, I am resigning today. Zucker continues in the memo here. I came to CNN on January 28, 2013. Together, we had 9 great years. I certainly wish my tenure here had ended differently, but it was an amazing run, and I have loved every minute. I am grateful to the thousands of incredibly talented CNN and Turner Sports employees who helped make this such a joy for me and such a success for all of us. I wish each of you nothing but the best in the years ahead. That memo from Jeff Zucker a few minutes ago, a stunner for the CNN newsroom and for Turner Sports, which he also oversaw in recent years. Now, the head of Warner Media, Jason Kilar, has just announced that he will be announcing an interim leadership plan shortly. In other words, he's not naming a new boss right away. That tells you this did happen very suddenly. openly. The key detail not included in the Zucker memo is the name of his colleague. He refers to a consensual relationship with his closest colleague. That colleague is Allison Gollust, who is the head of marketing and communications for CNN and for Turner Sports. She has worked with Zucker for decades. They were together at NBC at the Today Show in the 90s, then at NBC Universal, and now at CNN and Warner Media. According to this memo, according to the memo here, it was a consensual relationship that evolved in recent years, and he did not disclose it, and thus that's why he's resigning. I've just received, Kate, while we're speaking here, a statement from Allison Gollust as well. As I said, Gollust, the top marketing executive for CNN, she's remaining with the company, and here's what she says, quote, Jeff and I have been close friends and professional partners for over 20 years. Recently, our relationship changed during COVID. I regret that we didn't disclose it at the right time. Gollust going on to say, I'm incredibly proud of my time at CNN and look forward to continuing the great work we do every day. So this is a scenario where you have people who are working together for a long time, then they start a personal relationship, and because they're both acknowledging they did not disclose it at the time, Zucker saying he should have disclosed it right away, that is why he says he's resigned effective immediately. Kate, we both know.
Ladies and gentlemen, and that's a gosh darn lie. The reason why he's disclosing it right now is because Chris Cuomo's lawyers caught them up. And of course, you can't, date an employee you work with. I mean, you can't date a coworker. So that's a conflict of interest there. So they're not being entirely truthful about it. Both of them actually were doing the wrong thing, and everybody at CNN knew that they were screwing around. This wasn't like it was under wraps or anything. Everybody knew that they were screwing around. It's the fact that they fired Chris Cuomo, and Chris Cuomo was mad and heated. And that's when he sicked his lawyers on them and said, hey, you fired me, but look at the indecent stuff that Jeff Zucker and this woman are doing. How can they fire me when they're not doing what they're supposed to do and they're not following company policy? Bingo, bango. So that's when Jeff Zucker said, you know what? I got to go. So he's taken off. Who knows? Maybe he'll get another job at, MSNBC. These people rotate around, so I don't think he'll be going too far away. But that's what it is. These people are dropping like flies on CNN. I'm waiting for Don Lemon to get fired next. I mean, when does he get fired? Brian Stelter need to be fired too. That whole organization just need to be crumbled. CNN is a fake-ass news organization. It is. Brian Stelter, look at him. He happy that he broke the story. He moving up in the world now. Brian, you about to get his job, aren't you, Brian? Look at y'all. Let's go ahead and move forward. Gene McLaughlin says, I hear The View is hiring. Yeah, they definitely hiring. I can tell you that. We'll see. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, I want to speak about Biden. Oh, yes. Biden. He's up for more distractions. Biden orders 3,000 troops to the Eastern Europe border. I want you guys to take a look at this when it come back. I want to speak about it. Biden. Let me tell you, he hiding.
Well, tonight, the standoff with Russia has escalated, with the U.S. saying it will deploy thousands of troops to allies in Eastern Europe as a message to Putin. CBS's Charlie D'Agata reports tonight from inside Estonia, the former Soviet republic and now a member of NATO.
It's important that we send a strong signal to Mr. Putin and, frankly, to the world that NATO matters to the United States. It matters to our allies.
That signal, shipping out 2,000 troops from Fort Bragg, North Carolina, to Poland and Germany, and redeploying roughly 1,000 forces from Germany to Romania. The decision comes as new satellite imagery reveals a Russian troop buildup in areas bordering Ukraine, including Belarus, where joint military drills took place today with tanks and combat helicopters. Countering that threat in the Baltic nation of Estonia this week, America has been flexing its own military might, sending a squadron of F-15 fighters to strengthen NATO policing missions. These American fighter jets have been deployed with NATO partners on the alliance's eastern flank, right along the border with Russia, and the mission has never been more critical.
What we're primarily looking for is any aircraft that are operating outside of normal international rules that might infringe on NATO airspace.
Such as the Russian fighter jet we're told was intercepted in these skies just last weekend. With tensions rising in Ukraine, the aim is to reassure NATO partners while keeping Russia on watch. The Pentagon has made clear no U.S. combat troops would be sent to Ukraine itself. Today, Russia called the deployment of American forces destructive and unjustified. Nora?
Charlie D'Agata, thank you.
Man, oh man. What you got to think about this? What do you think? So we got Biden sending all these troops to the border right now. He is sending all these troops, 3,000, to the border. Right now, he's building a distraction. That's what's going on. What you guys are witnessing is a distraction. At home here, we have crime through the roof. We have a border that is not secure. We have a mandate that is being put on a lot of children and a lot of people that they don't want. We have a lot of stuff that is going wrong, right? Including Biden inflation. So how does he get the press? How does he get people's attention off of him? Easy. Start making military moves. Start making a proxy war with Russia. That's what he's doing. He's arming Ukraine. He's sending a lot of military weapons to Ukraine. And now he's sending troops. So this is a very big distraction. And he knows as long as he keeps doing this, the tensions will be high and the attention will be put off him. We just got done showing you guys a couple of days ago these secret immigration flights that are going across the country. There's a lot of people who are upset with him. So, being the masters of distraction, the best way for him to get people's attention off him, once more, again, is to create a proxy war. That's what it is. He's a very evil man. Very evil man. And I don't believe, once more again, we're going to be, doing anything with Russia. We don't have the capacity for it right now. And everything that is going on has to deal with political theater. As long as we're talking about Europe, Russia, Ukraine, we're not speaking about his failures. And that's what they want. Let me tell you, that's what they want. And that is our show for tonight. I want to thank everybody and their mama for coming out and hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it. I also like to thank everybody who donated as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Your donations help us pay our bills here, pay our internet, pay our streaming fees, get everything right for you so that we can push out the content you love and deserve. So I want to thank everybody and their mama's mama for coming out and hanging out with me, hitting that like button, as well as sharing. I'll be on tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central, giving you guys the good word. So make sure you come and hang out with me then, all right? Absolutely. So you guys take care. Have a very, very good night. And I'll catch you guys here later with another edition of Conservative Nation. Good night.